Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 9 Frames podcast. It is Friday, December 8th, 2023, and this is episode 59. I am Bill Whalen.
And I'm Mike Whalen.
Catch us, as always, on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. Please remember to follow us, subscribe, like, comment, and share if you enjoy the show.
Yeah, and it seems like we're getting close to some really big signings happening, and we do have some big trade news to break, so we appreciate the support and continue to follow along as we go.
Yeah, the winter meetings have come and gone. They weren't the most active in the world, but like you said, we got that blockbuster, and Juan Soto has been traded. We will get into that. We will break down the latest on Ohtani, the latest on Yamamoto, and a couple more deals that happened around the league. And like we said, the big news has broken. Juan Soto is officially on the move from San Diego. This felt inevitable, and it happened. The New York Yankees have acquired Juan Soto. He's going to the Bronx.
Yeah, that was the team that you picked to trade for him. Mm-hmm. I picked the Orioles. I thought it would make I guess not more sense, because the anybody can use that type of player in their lineup every day, because he does play every single game, as we saw last year. Yeah, it's a big get for the Yankees. They needed that star power in the outfield to go along with Judge, and they surely got him.
Such a stud, man, going over to the Bronx now. Won't have to shave the beard or anything, already kind of made for the jersey. The Yankees will be receiving Juan Soto and Trent Grisham in that deal. The Padres, on the other hand, will be getting right-handed pitchers Michael King, Drew Thorpe, Randy Vasquez, Johnny Brito, and the catcher Kyle Higashioka.
It's pretty crazy to think about that. Now Trent Grisham is the 5th outfielder on this team.
Yeah, man.
Because you've got Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Giancarlo Stanton, and newly acquired Alex Verdugo as well. So Trent Grisham is the 5th outfield. Stanton's not going to play any outfield. He's going to DH basically every time he's in the lineup. So
a lot of good gold in that outfield at this point now, though. The Yankees getting what they wanted, looking for their lefty bats and looking for outfielders in general. Brian Cashman gets that done.
Yeah, and then to have Grisham, because their outfield's not going to be the greatest defensive-wise. Late in games, if you have a lead, you got Grisham on the bench. You could put him in for a nice spot in probably center field, you'd assume.
I think that's exactly what they're going to end up doing. With all that uncertainty on who will be the full-time center fielder on this Yankees team, I think Grisham will be in there 7th inning and on in a lot of games as he just holds down the fort.
Yeah, because we've seen in his career that he really can't hit much at all, but he is a fantastic defensive outfielder, so that's pretty much all he's going to be there.
Yeah, very true. Breaking down the hauls for both of these teams now, we will talk about what the Padres received from the Yankees first. As we said, they get right-hand pitcher Michael King. He's a career .338 guy. He had a .275 last year, and he's on a real upward trend since 2020. He's been a real stud.
Yeah, he had a 1.88 ERA in his last 9 starts for the Yankees last year, so he was looking like he was going to be a part of their rotation, and we have seen already San Diego has confirmed that he will be a part of their rotation moving forward. So Michael King is transitioning to a full-time starter this year in San Diego.
It's another one of those rolled. We talked about it on the last episode with a couple of guys moving to new teams, where this might be where he really gets his feet on the ground and gets off running as a starter full-time. Kind of like Seth Lugo did last year.
I was going to say, especially with them proving they've done it with a guy like Lugo, who is now most likely on his way out. A team that has a lot of holes in their rotation right now, with Snell being a free agent, Waka being a free agent, and like you just said, what was this? Who were we just talking about? Seth Lugo is also a free agent. So, So he's just going to fill in basically, and we'll see if he can continue the trend that he continued that he was showing at the end of the 2023 season for the Yankees.
The second pitcher that they move here is Drew Thorpe. He's played most of his innings in high A ball, has got some double A under the belt last year, so we'll keep an eye on him as he tries to work his way up through the Padres organization now. The third pitcher was Randy Vasquez here. He has a 2.87 ERA in 37 2/3 MLB innings pitched. He's pitched in 11 games and started 5 of them, so he's got some versatility. Might be another guy who finds his way into that rotation and tries to secure himself a role as a starter full-time.
Yeah, they're also going to get Johnny Brito, who was another guy that had some major league experience last year for the Yankees. He had 25 games, only 13 games started. He had a 4.28. He's a young kid in 90 and a third innings. So, and then they were also going to get catcher Kyle Higashioka, who we know he's a veteran. He's been around, backup catcher type guy, 33 years old, /236, 274 with a 4.13 slugging, 10 home runs and 34 RBI in 92 games. And he is very, very good defensively. So, the Padres did get a haul because they got a starting pitcher, and the Yankees were very, very reluctant to give up both Michael King and Drew Thorpe. Those were the two guys they did not want to give up.
Possibly two starting pitchers if they decide that Randy Vasquez is that guy.
Brito, too.
Half of this guy's career has been starting at this point, so might as well give it a try.
Yeah, Brito had 13 games start out of 25, so he started a majority of his games as well. So
a lot of versatile arms going over to the Padres.
Young guys, too.
I wanted to bring it back over to Higashioka because I think this is a very under-the-radar part of this move. He is a real field general, and it's worth noting that he was the guy who just caught the entirety of Garrett Cole's best season.
I was also going to say, I wonder how much of Michael King's last 9 starts he was catching for the Yankees as well, because he might have already had a very good chemistry level with Higashioka, so now them going together, he might end up being his personal catcher since they've already been there together.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, Garrett Cole coming off a season where he won the Cy Young
unanimously,
and was debatably the most dominant pitcher on the bump in the majors.
I don't think it's debatable. I think he was.
So I think it's kind of. I don't want to say it's a hit to take, but it really could be. We'll have to wait and see on how he meshes with his new catcher.
They do have Jose Trevino, who, if he can stay healthy, he's just as good, if not even better defensively than Higashioka. So I don't think they're too concerned about that loss because of having him. But it will be interesting to see what they do because...
Yeah, the ebbs and flow of the game, knowing what a pitcher feels is good. It seemed like Kyle had that figured out. We'll see if the boots can be filled.
Yeah, and I mean, for a catcher that played 92 games, Higashioka having 10 home runs and 34 RBI, you'll definitely take that with the defense that he provides. So
yeah, they were never looking for much in terms of his bat. He filled his role admirably for them last year, and I think he will continue to do the same for the Padres now.
That's why he's been around for so long. He's a guy that just does his job.
Very true. Moving it on over to what the Yankees got, because this is the blockbuster part of the deal. I will start with Trent Grisham. He is coming off a season where he had 469 at-bats and only batted a measly 198. He had a 666 OPS, and he's a career 216 hitter with home runs in the 60s. It hasn't been a great offensive career for him, but he's only got 4 years of service time, and he's a 2-time Gold Glover. So I think as a kind of rotating door fifth outfielder kind of option, he could really help the Yankees out defensively.
Yeah, I already said we've seen that he's proved to not be a very good hitter at the major league level, but his defense always holds up. 2 Gold Gloves and 4 years of service time is very impressive. He's shooting 50% no matter which way you look at it. So, he's just going to be a nice defensive fill-in for them.
And the deal gets a whole lot better when you consider that was only the add-on to the All-Star here. Multi-time Silver Slugger, multi-time All-Star Juan Soto on the move. Last year, like we said, 162 games played. He slashed 275, 410 on base with a 519 slugging, 35 homers and 109 RBI. He is ticking all the boxes, and he has led the MLB in walks the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, he walked 132 times and only struck out 129, so the guy walks more than he strikes out.
Yeah, Juan Soto's an absolute monster, and he's moving on over to what is kind of the easiest right field to hit a home run out of in the big leagues.
I saw a very, very good point made by Will Middlebrooks. It could be very dangerous for him to go to that stadium because if you saw when he was really struggling with the Padres, it was when he became super, super pull happy. And now that he sees that short right porch, if he becomes super pull happy again, he could really, really mess up his swing. That's the reason why right-handers succeed so much in Yankee Stadium. That's what Middlebrooks was saying, like Judge, because he can afford to be late on a fastball and still hit it out for a home run in that short porch. But if he gets very pull happy again, it could lead to some struggles. And we know how Yankee fans handle struggles from star players, man.
Very true. It should be very interesting to see Juan Soto and Aaron Judge batting back-to-back in that lineup.
And the other side is Who knows if it's just this 1 year for them? He seemed very insistent to go to free agency, Juan Soto. So
yeah, I wanted your thoughts overall on the deal, and I was going to say that my thoughts are, I mean, you have to do it. If you're the Yankees, you have to make it happen, and you have to try to bring him back in. But, yeah, it does sound like he's going to test free agency, and it doesn't sound like it's going to be easy to bring him back in. So it should be a task, number one task for the Yankees going into next offseason.
Yeah, but, I mean, if they re-sign him, man, they're getting pretty expensive with guys on the roster just between 5 players. Between Judge, Stanton, Cole, Rodon, and then it would be Soto, too, man. And then you got Rizzo and LeMahieu, who are not cheap. And then they're also talking about being in on Yamamoto. Where are they getting all this money from? They haven't spent like this in a while. So
the Yankees might be back trying to reform the evil empire.
They would have to spend a lot of money if they want to re-sign Juan Soto, because he turned down 13 years, $450 from the Nationals a couple of years ago, and all he's done since then is win another Silver Slugger and been an All-Star a couple more times. So you tell me how he thinks he's going to be valued.
I don't think he's going to stop collecting awards anytime soon. So
still 25, by the way.
And how much better do you guys think that the Yankees got with Juan Soto's addition? I put this poll out just before the deal went through. Where do you rank the Yankees among the AL East if they get Juan Soto, which they did? I will start with the 4th and 5th place votes. 15% of the votes, there were 167 votes here, so that is 25 votes, said 4th and 5th place. So no improvement or getting worse. 3rd place had 19% of the votes with 32 votes. 2nd place had 37% of the votes with 62 votes, and 1st place had 29% of the votes with 48.
Yeah, I don't really. It's fun to speculate. It's going to be very hard to decide who wins that division. That division is going to be an absolute bloodbath, especially if what we're hearing might be true and Ohtani could be headed to Toronto potentially, because that would also hinder where they finish in the division too. I put 2nd place when I voted on this because I think they are going to be better than the Rays, who it look like they're going to be taking a step back. The Blue Jays are a toss-up if they get Ohtani. They're above the Yankees. And then I do think the Orioles are still going to be better.
Yeah, it's going to be a really packed AL East. And I think 2nd and 3rd are pretty fair to say. 4th and 5th are a little rough. I'm surprised that 25 people said that.
That might just be Red Sox fans or whatever just hating on them.
Was wondering if that's what that is. I do think it's fair to say that this is the Orioles division until it's not, especially since they haven't gotten any worse this offseason.
Exactly. So. They've actually gotten a little bit better.
So if you want, and like the majority of our poll says 2nd place is where they lie right now. So pretty interesting stuff. We will keep the polls coming as the offseason progresses. Moving it on over to the next piece of news, and it was massive news this morning. According to a source and confirmed by John Morosi, Ohtani deal is imminent and could be as early as today.
Yeah, it could be a record. Well, it will be, most likely, record-breaking numbers when we see the Ohtani contract come to fruition. I got a feeling that it's still going to end up being the Dodgers. They seem like they want him. It seems like the easiest move for him. The most the winningest option. But, I mean, it would be fun if he went to Toronto. So, we'll see. Sure. The Giants aren't out of it. The Cubs are still distantly in it.
The 5th bubble team. Yeah.
The Angels, we've heard. I always have said don't count the Mets and Yankees out if they're spending the money the way they are right now. I don't care what anybody says. But, yeah, it looks like it's coming down to the wire here, and it might end, if not today, surely by this weekend, we'd think.
First time I've been here recording and really felt like at any moment a notification could pop up that Ohtani signs and has his new threads. And I'm not going to lie, folks, I do think that they're going to be Dodgers threads when he puts them on. But I think that there are a lot of teams that have a chance still, like you said, probably roughly 5 to 7. So we'll see where he ends up going, and that thing really could pop up any moment now.
Yeah.
Sticking it on over with another Japanese free agent, Steve Cohen and a Mets camp flew on over to Japan last week to meet with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He brought on over, even Kodai Senga's translator and friend came on over, just to show the Mets' seriousness and depth in their interest.
It's nice to see, if you're a Mets fan, the dedication Steve Cohen is showing toward getting Yoshi Yamamoto on the Mets. I mean, he is the 2nd biggest free agent on the market behind only Shohei Otani. So his contract is going to be wild as well. They're talking about closer to $300 million than $200 million for a guy that hasn't even touched the majors yet, which is unheard of. Who else but Steve Cohen? You know, he's got the deepest pockets in the league. He's flying over to Japan to meet the guy. We saw this morning that it improved their position in the race, as you'd assume, because you're showing you care.
From all accounts, it sounds like the meeting went well, and the Mets really showed how serious they are about bringing Yamamoto to New York. He met with a lot of the front office, along with, obviously, Senga's translator, and obviously the owner, Steve Cohen. It should be, hopefully, impressive to him. And I think this really is a New York sweepstakes as of right now.
Yeah, and the Mets are going to continue to stay active. David Stearns trying to cook up that pitching lab where he can buy low and get high rewards. The Mets are going to be signing former All-Star Jorge Lopez to a 1-year, $2 million deal. So not a crazy amount of money for a guy that was an All-Star just in 2022 with Baltimore and Minnesota when he had a 2.54 ERA in 71 innings. He was not good this year.
I know, this is over his career, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, this year he had a kind of rough down year as well, and over his career he has a negative .4 WAR and a 5.51 ERA in 8 years. So I understand what this is for the Mets. It's a 1-year, $2 million deal.
From a guy they've seen promise from.
It's another one of those bolstering the pen. Hopefully we get that flash in the pan that he has been one time, and hopefully he kind of keeps that consistently.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't hate it because it's so low risk.
Yeah, the worst that happens is it doesn't work out, they buy him out, and they lose $2 million. I mean, I don't think they're going to even notice the $2 million's gone at the end of the year.
One thing I will say is that as the offseason progresses, I do see Mets fans getting pretty antsy as the Mets continue to make small deals. They're waiting for this big deal, and they're getting itchy for sure.
Yeah, I don't understand the impatience. I mean, it's a long offseason, and not many teams have made big moves yet, with the exception of like the Yankees, I guess. Maybe like
Phillies.
The Phillies. That's not really a big move. They just brought their guy back. They could have done that in June, you know.
Very true.
The Cardinals with Gray was another one, but it's really hasn't happened much, and I feel like it's because Ohtani hasn't signed yet. He's the first big domino. Once Ohtani goes, I think Yamamoto will sign, and then so on and so forth. The pitching market will be fluent. People just need to calm down. Even if the Mets don't get Yamamoto, they're going to pivot. They're going to try to get Snell. They're going to be active with Montgomery. They've got guys out there that they could try to get. They could try to trade for Shane Bieber or Tyler Glasnow. There's plenty of options.
I would love them going for a J.D. Martinez or a Jorge Soler to fill that DH hole.
I was just talking about pitching. Yeah, there's plenty of DH options to fill out there as well.
I, like other Mets fans, am looking forward to the big move, but I'm not itching for it.
It'll happen.
Yeah, we got to be patient here. I did want to say real quick about Yamamoto. If the Dodgers don't get Ohtani, don't be surprised if you start hearing their names early and often with Yamamoto.
Yeah, and something that we're forgetting is that the Giants made it clear that they were going to prioritize one of Ohtani or Yamamoto, and if Ohtani flies off the board, not to them today, they could turn and be very aggressive for Yamamoto as well. So with Ohtani signing, Yamamoto's market might even take a jump up.
And then keep it in the back of your mind, folks, Imanaga is also lurking, waiting to be signed.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Mets and a lot of other teams who could have used starting pitching, one of the options that they were talking to, Eduardo Rodriguez, is now off the board. He's going to go to Arizona, the defending National League champions, on a 4-year, $80 million deal. So basically like the same kind of deal we saw the Phillies give Kyle Schwarber a couple years ago. What can you say about him? I mean, he opted out of his 3-year, $49 million contract that he had left in Detroit to only make about $4 million more. And it was weird because he told the Dodgers that he had no intention of moving west. He wanted to stay close to his family on the East Coast. And here he is moving to the West Coast in Arizona with the Diamondbacks now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know his personal life, obviously. Not sure what was keeping him on the East Coast this last year, but it seems like that doesn't exist now, or at least not to the same extent. He's moving it on over to Arizona to play on the National League champion team.
A team that we were saying all postseason run, they only have 3 starting pitchers. Now they got a fourth. Imagine if they had Erod then. Yep.
Imagine they had him. I think he would have been their 1 or 2 starter, man.
Now Brandon Pfaadt is down to your 4. I mean, they make another signing. They get one more guy. They got a very solid rotation in Arizona.
Brandon Pfaadt's a guy who just got a lot of valuable experience and he could really be solid this year.
Yeah, I mean, he looked great in the playoffs. If that's your 4, man.
And for Arizona, by the way, this deal, man, I love Eduardo Rodriguez for $20 million a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take that any day of the week, and he'll be going on over to the Red Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed him in blue and orange, but he was aggressive, and he wanted to sign before the holiday season, and he gets it done. His family will be moving to Arizona for the next half decade.
There you go. Moving it on over to another pitcher. We have the details of the Craig Kimbrell deal here.
Yeah, we said on Wednesday that it was basically there, but not fully.
To happen.
Yeah.
I believe
now
it happened Wednesday afternoon even.
Now it's fully official.
He will be signing a 1-year deal with the Baltimore Orioles with a club option for $25. He'll be getting $12 million in $24 and the club options for $13 million or a $1 million opt-out. I like this move. I looked at it online, and it does seem like Felix Bautista has a really high chance of missing the entire 24 season.
So he's your closer.
So he will be filling in the closer role, letting Cano progress as an 8th inning guy. And then if they want to bring him back, they can discuss with him about changing roles for the current reliever of the year, Felix Bautista, as he is trying to make a return into the 2025 season probably.
Yeah, I love the move for the Orioles. I mean, a 101-win team. One of their strengths already was their bullpen, so to add a potential future Hall of Famer to the bullpen is just, I mean, you can't hate it. It's a phenomenal move. Craig Kimbrell is one of the greats, and it's going to be cool to see him. He could maybe be a little bit of a mentor for the younger guys like Cano, and even Bautista when he comes back, if he's still around. I mean, you could learn some stuff from Craig Kimbrell, I promise.
To a certain extent.
350-plus saves.
I know he's a closer, but this young starting rotation could probably do with hanging around with him.
Definitely.
I mean, the pitching mechanics are all there.
Veteran pitching is veteran pitching no matter what.
The only concern I do see with this deal that is kind of justified is that Baltimore is not known as a big spender. So for them to spend $13 million or $12 million here, it might mean that they aren't going to be very active for the rest of the offseason. That being said, they are a 101-win team.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how they continue to build their team, but that is a good start to the offseason as you get a lockdown option at the back end of the bullpen.
Craig Kimbrell going to the first place Orioles. Our last little point here of the episode, we ended our last episode by saying Chris Archer was joining the Dodgers front office. This time, Yadier Molina, the former catcher, very recently former, joins the Cardinals, who else, front office as a special assistant to baseball operations.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time until Molina got back into baseball. I'm surprised that it took a year. I was waiting for him to join the Cardinals last year. That guy's going to be a Cardinal until he's buried. I mean, he loves the organization. They love him, so it's really nice to see that they hold such a high value for him, where they would give him a front office position as a special assistant to baseball operations. It's real cool to see.
Yadier Molina and the Cardinals is a match made in heaven, and it's one that we will be seeing for the foreseeable future, as we should be. I think it's the type of baseball mind you want to have around your team too, so it's really a win-win for both parties.
Yeah, good for them.
Congratulations to Yadier Molina, and best of luck to the Cardinals as they try to get back on track next season.
Yeah, got to get out of that basement.
Thank you to everybody for watching and listening wherever you do. That was episode 59 of the 9 Frames podcast, and this is Friday, December 8th, 2023. I've been Bill Whalen.
And I've been Mike Whalen.
Be sure to catch us, as always, on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. Be sure to follow us, subscribe, like, comment, and share if you enjoyed the show today.
Yeah, and most importantly than all, just be sure to go to our YouTube and just drop a sub on the YouTube channel. It really helps, and we appreciate seeing the number grow. It's encouraging to see new subscribers every day, because that means people are enjoying what we're putting out.
Very true, very true. And this was a fun little winter meetings that could have been more fun, but we got our Juan Soto deal. He's moving it on over to the Bronx to play in the Pinstripes. And guys, I think Monday we could be talking to you about Shohei Otani signing. very soon we will be giving you our predictions for our all MLB teams, and we hope to hear your guys' opinions on who you think should be on the all MLB teams. Let us know down below.
Yeah, enjoy your weekend, everybody. It could be a crazy one.
See you on Monday, potentially with Ohtani news. Fingers crossed.